Lots of things in life can be life-changing if you pay attention and you're perspicacious and you're hardworking, you're indefatigable. Most of you are lazy and you don't pay attention to anything. It's amazing how many people go through life without paying attention to things in general. They don't pay attention to the news, don't pay attention to the current trends, don't pay attention to how they're being lied to, by who, why, what they want you to believe, why they want you to believe it. You have to look at how they're trying to manipulate you and understand where they want you to end up so you can make sure you don't end up there. My father had a saying, 4.2 thousand, we're almost halfway. My father had a saying, he said, I allow manipulation to find out where my enemy wants me to go, and then I use my mind to break the trap and punish the perpetrators. And he's absolutely not true. You have to allow the manipulation to find out where the enemy wants you to go, because if you don't find out where the enemy wants you to go, then you might end up there on accident. So you have to allow them to manipulate you, or attempt to manipulate you, see what they want you to believe, so that you can make sure you don't believe that. Otherwise, you might end up believing what they want you to believe a different way. They might give you a different path towards the degeneracy, or they might give you a different lie. And with a different lie, you might fall for the same trick. I hope that makes sense to you. Let me give you an example of why most people are losers. Recently in Dubai, I was at a medical center, I had to do some medical tests, etc. I smoked a big fat Cuban on my way in. And I said, you know what, while we're here, check out my lungs. Make sure that my lungs are all good, because I smoke a lot. They did an x-ray and a CT scan and everything. And I said, yeah, your lungs are fine. There's no evidence of smoking damage whatsoever. Smoking cigars for years, zero smoking damage. They said, but just to make sure, let's do a test. Blow into this thing as a breath test. So I was like, all right, cool, let's do the breath test. Me, Andrew Tate, all I do is chill, work hard. I still train, still stay combat ready, of course. Smoke a nice couple of cigars a day, etc. 45% stronger than average, my lungs. 45%. I could blow harder, 45% harder, or more volume. I was like, how the fuck am I 40? I mean, obviously I'm top G, but 45%? The average dude must just be a total loser. I didn't even try that hard. I'm sure I could have blown harder if I actually tried. So these people are just fucking, is this the average? The average dude is a loser. Even at blowing air, the average dude sucks. Unbelievable. Can't be average anymore, gentlemen. 8,000. 2,000 to go. Because it's ridiculously easy to be above average. Because the average person just literally doesn't try, doesn't pay attention, can't breathe air properly, can't blow on a machine properly. It's dummies. Fucking dumbasses. I'll tell you why you're a loser. Every single one of you has a unique life path. The life you have lived is completely and utterly unique to anybody else's life. The time at which you had your heart broke, the girl who did it, the parents you have, places you live, when you moved around as a kid, or the teacher who put you in detention and you cried, whatever it is, your life path has been completely and utterly unique. God has provided you, most of you, I would like to think, with plenty of trauma, and the point of the trauma is for you to grow and learn. The people who never learn and grow are people who had very easy lives. Men who have had easy lives are not good at being men. If you ask women as a whole, or you even ask society as a whole, we need a big G. When you imagine a big G, you imagine a guy covered in scars who's been through a bunch of shit, who was hard to kill and survived and came out the other end. A man who's never had trauma is not a good man. So all the trauma is given to you by God, and you need to be thankful for it. Everything bad that happens to you, you need to say, thank you, God, because you've given me a chance to take this trauma and turn it into something positive, to use it for self-growth, and to become a better version of myself. Every time you have been hurt, they say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. To this degree, it is absolutely not true. If your life has no trauma in it, you're never going to grow into a resilient man, because everything is relative. The reason I don't give a solitary fuck when the Matrix tried to cancel me. Now, most people said to me, Andrew, I can't believe how calm you are. They're coming for you. They're coming for your family. They're frozen all your... Oh, please, you can't freeze all the top G's money. They're frozen 20 million pounds. They're lying about you in the papers. They're contacting your ex-girlfriends, trying to make them lie about you. They're trying to put you in jail. They've deleted all your social medias. I didn't give a fuck. I was like, listen, at least they're not trying to stab me yet. I've had people trying to stab me, so everything's relative. I had killers trying to kill me, so when the Matrix is trying to say in the Daily Mail I'm a bad person, I don't give a shit. I sleep just fine. But if I had never been through anything, then being canceled would be a big deal. Look what happened when Logan Paul got canceled. He cried his eyes out on TV repeatedly. Biggest thing in the world. He's getting canceled again right now because everyone's worked out he's a fucking scammer. And he's feeling the pressure, right? Because he's a bitch in his heart and in his soul. So the better you are at dealing with shit, the more shit you've been through, the harder you become to kill. That's what trauma's about. The reason most of you are losers is because you've had a very unique life path, but you are not a unique person. Think about how you could have had a unique life path and been through completely unique special events that nobody else has ever been through, but somehow, coming out the end of it, you have not ended up a unique individual. Most of you fuckers are completely average. If I were to walk past you on the street, wouldn't give a shit. None of you would matter. If I were to sit and talk to you and say, tell me something interesting or insightful, you couldn't do it. Tell me your coolest story. Boring, boring. Show me your chick. Ugly. You're all losers. None of you have anything remotely interesting that can compare to me. If you were to compare against me in any metric that humans are smart enough to measure, you would fail. Why? Because I've had a unique life path, and I've ended up a unique person. You've had a unique life path, and you've stayed an average loser. I'm going to tell you why. It's because you have not been perspicacious enough to pay enough attention into exactly analyzing what has happened to you and why it has happened to you. God has done these things to you and put you in these unique scenarios for you to learn from them. But none of you are busy learning. You're too busy feeling, like a bunch of little girls. Something happens to you, you feel a certain way. When the feeling goes away, you stop thinking about it and you move on to do some new dumb shit. Instead of sitting there and actually genuinely analyzing, why did my girl leave me? Why is my dad unhappy with me? Why do people not pay attention to me when I walk down the street? Why am I not intimidating? Why does nobody care when I raise my voice? Why can I not get a promotion at work? Why, etc. You need to look at your situation and analyze why. Because when you're looking at a chessboard and you need to make a move, if you were to give me a chess position and say, Andrew, make the best move, the first thing I would do is look at the chessboard, right? And try and analyze what's happening. Most of you have never analyzed anything. So God is giving you all these chances to become a unique individual, and you are floundering them and wasting them because these things are happening to you and you are not paying attention to why it has happened, the genuine consequences of it happening, whether you want it to happen again or not, how you can try and influence those outcomes, and how you can become a better person because of it. Unique life paths are leading you to completely average lives because you are analyzing them like an average person does by simply feeling. To be a professional, and I call myself a professional of life, you need to be paying attention to every single detail. So next time you walk down the street and somebody bumps into you, for example, you need to sit and think, why did that person not get out of my way? It's probably because I'm not big enough. Probably because of the way I walk. Probably because I don't look important. I'm not physically intimidating. Why did that girl not give me her number? Well, that's because I look like a fucking geek. It's because I am a geek. Maybe I approached her too happy and smiley looking like a little pussy. Maybe I was drunk. Maybe my breath smelled. Maybe I need chewing gum. Who knows? None of you pay attention to anything. And I'm saying this, and I truly mean it, because I talk to people. They'll say something bad that happened to them, and I'll say, why? And their answer will be, I don't know. Yeah, I just broke up with my girl. Why? Oh, I don't know. It just wasn't working, bro. What the fuck do you mean you don't fucking know? You've lived with the bitch. You don't even know? She left you. She's fucking a new dude. You don't know why? You don't know why she's sucking new dick. Well, you better fucking find out. What's going to happen again, dummy? It's going to happen next time and the time after that. You fucking don't know. I'm broke. Why? Oh, you know, man, times are tough. No, it's not just times are tough. They're not tough for me. The times are fucking fine for me, bro. So something has happened to you specifically. You have not identified why it has happened. You've not identified the best way to counter it. You've not identified the best thing to do about it. And that's why you're going to all remain average.